I don't think they say it enough. The other thing, of course, is to buy atomizers, allowing you to respray it but not carry the full bottle. So, bugger. Oh, you bloody fucker. What the fuck is it? Here it is, right. Okay, so I am. Hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about why you're probably not applying enough fragrance and why you may be finding that you're not getting smelled as much as you deserve to. So the theory that I'm going to put to you today might be a little bit controversial, but bear with me and let me know in the comments below if you think I'm right. So I've been giving this subject a lot of thought recently, and obviously one of the things we hear a lot about in the fragrance community is the issue of performance on fragrances. And of course a lot of the fragrances leave people disappointed with the performance. They don't last as long as people hope, and they feel that they don't project as much as they would like. Now, in recent years, many popular fragrances and old fragrances have been reformulated, and many people feel that the performance has been weakened. Certain ingredients have become harder to get or more expensive, or the rules and regulations have changed. So things that made fragrances perform better in the past seem to sometimes now be in shorter supply, and there's less of them in our fragrances. So the general consensus is that things that we buy in the shops today perform a little bit less well than they used to do. So this is a problem that we need to fix. My theory here is one that might upset a few people because it's so glaringly obvious, yet I feel justified making the video because I very rarely hear anyone actually say what I'm going to say to you today. So there are all kinds of simple things you can do with a fragrance to help longevity and projection and performance be a little bit better. So being clean is obviously a good place to start. Applying a moisturizer, preferably an unscented one, or if you have the one that actually goes with the fragrance that came in the gift set or whatever, that's even better. Those things do help a little bit, science tells us, because the moisturized skin will hold on to the fragrance a little bit longer. However, they do not turn a donkey into a racehorse, and they are not going to turn weak performing scents into brilliant ones or beast mode ones. So I'm going to tell you what I do to get good performance and to actually be smelling good all the time, and it's very, very simple. What you need to do then, in my opinion, is spray quite a lot of fragrance on in the first place to start with. So I'll show you how much I would apply. This one is Eau de Mission's cologne, which I've decanted, and people talking about 2-3 sprays of things. If that works for them, other reviewers, I really have no problem with that. Good luck to them, but I would never find that gave me much performance on any fragrance, really. So it's just not true for me. If I was to sit here and say, 2, 3, even 4 sprays, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprays. Why not? I go on the back of the hand now because I find that that's working better for me than the wrist. If you're going to be washing your hands throughout the day, it could be a problem. I try and just wash my hands in a way that the water and the soap only goes on the inside of the hands, so the backs don't get the liquid washed off. I'm going to talk about respraying later. That's another thing that we can get around that. So I spray a lot. And of course that's an obvious place to start. Most fragrances these days are not that strong. They are not going to choke people out as easily as you think. This obviously does depend a little bit which fragrance you're wearing. A lot of the time I am wearing reasonably subtle smelling fragrances, not big oud bombs or beast mode ones. So there are exceptions to this. But for your average fragrance, for a citrus fragrance, the kind of fragrance you might wear to work, it's not usually going to be a big problem to hit 6 or 7 sprays. I hypothesize. You can disagree and tell me so in the comments if you don't think that's a good idea. So that's the first thing. You can spray more than you think. Remember, fragrances are not as strong as they were in our fathers' days. we think back to this image of the Cologne Guy. I think it was some kind of sketch in America, or it's a widely used phrase. People are terrified that there'll be the Cologne Guy, that guy that smells too strong and chokes everybody out and looks like a douchebag, as you would say, on the other side of the pond. I find that in my limited social life, but I do go out a bit and see people, I very rarely smell a noticeable fragrance on another man, sometimes on women, but not on other men. And that suggests to me one thing: people are not spraying enough. The fragrances are just not performing well enough, and they need to spray more and perhaps more often. So here's the other thing, of course: you want to reapply. My little slogan, when 2 hours go by, it's time to reapply, it is perhaps a little bit of a joke. Perhaps don't take that literally, but you certainly should be applying your fragrance every few hours if you're out and about and doing something where, we're talking more than 2-3 hours. You can't expect any fragrance to really be projecting strongly after 2 or 3 hours. Even the good ones go down in projection. The longevity may be good. So if you want to stay noticeable, it's a really good idea to carry the fragrance with you. If you are at work or going about your daily business, most of us maybe have a bag or something with us. I've got my gym bag here, so I can quite happily, I prefer to put it in a box or something. If you've got the box, keep the box. Put it somewhere safe in your bag, maybe if you've got a toiletries bag or something, where it's not going to rattle around and get knocked about and break. And you can just pull it out and spray it on whenever you want. Okay, so you don't always need a decant. You don't need an atomizer. A lot of fragrances that you're going to wear in the daytime, you're going to have something with you. You can put them in your coat pocket if it's winter, you're wearing a coat. You can put them in your car boot, or you can put them in a bag if you have a bag that you take to work. And then you just pull them out and you respray when you need to, maybe at lunchtime and maybe in the evening if you're going on after that. Simple, obvious, simple, but how often do you see people saying this? I don't think they say it enough. The other thing, of course, is to buy atomizers, allowing you to respray it but not carry the full bottle. Okay, so if you're going out for the night, for an evening out, socialising, to the pub, on a date, you can't very well carry a perfume bottle with you most of the time then. So we have the atomizer. There are numerous types out there. We can get little plastic ones online on eBay very cheaply. Plastic's not so brilliant because it can taint the smell if the fragrance is in there for a long time, but we're talking, it's not that much of an issue. So you can use a plastic one, fine, no problem. If you're storing a fragrance in there for months and months, that may not be a good thing, but in this scenario, that's not really the case. Preferably then, you want one that's glass inside. So I currently like these ones. They're not Travelos we have to pump, that they could just come like this. You can get them on eBay if you look around. I don't know where you are in the world, so I'm not going to give you the link because it depends where you are. And it's glass in there in order to fill it. It's a 5ml atomizer. I just take the lid off and you just squirt very carefully into the atomizer. There, I will demonstrate the technique. There's nothing, you don't need a pipette or a funnel. You're just careful, you put it right up there, you cannot miss, a little bit of mist will go missing, doesn't matter. And then you fill that up and you take that with you. These ones are glass, so the taint of the fragrance isn't going to be a problem, but they're well protected because they're in plastic. And then if you're on that night out, maybe it's you sprayed on at 7-8 o'clock, gets to 11 o'clock, half 11, you nip to the toilet and you reapply, and it gives you that advantage over everybody else. Everyone else's fragrances are dying out. They're in the dry down. They've become skin scents. They didn't spray enough in the first place. But we, the perfumistas, have come prepared. We've filled our atomizer with our favourite fragrance. And of course, it gives you that lovely top note projection, that burst that you normally get at the beginning of the evening. So you come back from the toilet and suddenly you are filling the air with a fantastic smell just when everybody else's smell is getting a little tired and jaded and dying out. It's winning. You are winning. So this is a really good thing that I think everyone should be doing. Of course, there are exceptions. If you've got a beast mode fragrance or a very overpowering one, exercise caution, exercise judgment. This doesn't apply to every fragrance, but a lot of fragrances I wear have a fresh feel, and I don't think that it's a problem if I reapply them during the evening. So for me, the key to success when you want your fragrance to last well and you want to be smelled is spray hard, spray often, and lastly, spray everywhere. What do I mean by that? I mean you can spray a lot of different parts of your body, obviously, if you're doing more sprays. And don't forget, it's fine to spray clothes, okay? If it's a really strong scent, you don't want it sitting out around on your jacket for weeks, maybe be careful. But a bit on the clothes, a bit in the hair, they hold on to the top notes longer, the fragrance doesn't die out so fast. Do it. Spray more, be a perfumista, let's project. See you next time. Bye-bye.